If you still struggle with getting the work done, this video is for you because I am going to talk about a concept that will allow you to fall in love with the work to the point where you will get addicted to it. And I myself utilize this concept in my own life, which is why I worked 10 plus hours per day, 90% of the time for the entire last year. So it's safe to say this stuff is definitely really helpful, so let's get right into the lesson on developing a work addiction, guys. So yeah, this one is going to be pretty juicy. It genuinely changed my life and I hope it does the same for you. So let's get right into the source, guys. So yeah, as I already said, guys, in this video I want to talk about a concept that will allow you to fall in love with your work to the point where you will get seriously addicted to it, you know? And the concept we are going to talk about is called, straight to the point, the dopamine transfer, guys. And I am going to explain this as simple and easy as it can get. So yeah, buckle up, it's going to be very interesting for you guys. So yeah, first of all, you need to understand that the only reason your work feels unpleasurable to you is that you simply have more pleasurable things in your day. You know, work is kinda boring in comparison to the other things you have in your day, like watching Netflix, like playing video games, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to explain this even more in depth, guys, you know? So the dopamine release you get from like doing the work is minor in comparison to other habits in your day, you know? And to help you understand this concept better, you know, a little bit better, I come up with my own concept of actually like explaining this thing easier to you. So yeah, we will use the term of dopamine points, guys, and I am going to explain this to you. So yeah, your maximum level in general, or like at the start of the day, in dopamine points is 100 points, you know? Things that are like highly stimulating, like playing video games or like watching Netflix, take away lots of dopamine points and suck your dopamine energy out of you, you know? So if you play video games, it will take up something like 30 points, which is going to be draining your energy to the point where you won't have enough energy or motivation to do the things that are actually important in order to drive the needle forward for your life, which is going to be something like work, hitting the gym, eating clean, whatever, like the usual good habits, guys. You should know this by now. So yeah, things like work that are not as stimulating take away less points from you, you know? These actually drive the needle forward, but these aren't really stimulating, and that's why they don't take too much energy away from you, but they still require lots of focus and lots of brain points, lots of dopamine points in order to really hit like the work out of doing the work, or otherwise you won't be motivated enough to really do the thing. So yeah, and now that you know that, guys, you probably understand that these highly stimulating things are very bad for you, you know, like playing the video games and stuff. But why do we still do them? You know, why do we still do video games and stuff? And the reason for that is pretty simple. Simply because our brain in these days is engineered to follow comfort and pleasure, guys, you know? We are only following things that are actually not really good for us. We are only following things that make us feel good in the short term. But instead, we should focus on things that actually make us fulfilled and happy in the long run, you know? That actually drive the needle forward in terms of like improving our life quality, you know? But yeah, our brains are engineered against us, and the reason for that is that bad companies, like the ones producing adult content or fast food, engineered us to like be this way in order to make a profit off of us, because we crave these things and we get addicted to them, you know? And that's, yeah, terrible, you know? And the whole point I wanted to get at or get to is that you don't enjoy work because you have way more enjoyable things in your day and life. So what we need to do is cutting out everything highly pleasurable in your day, you know, as simple as it can get. And that's where we need to utilize the dopamine transfer, because without this concept, things wouldn't work as good as they can. Possibly, you know, because if we was to cut out everything instantly, you know, watching adult content, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, playing video games, watching Netflix, all of these bad things in your life that take away energy from you, your dopamine points will be at 70 points at the end of the day, when it's used to get to 0 points every single day. So what you need to understand is you are going to feel miserable at the end of the day if you don't use up your dopamine points. You're going to feel very unstimulated and you don't know what the hell is going on. Now that you have so much unused energy inside of you, you feel very nervous and anxious at the end of the day, you know, simply because you didn't use up your potential kind of, but of course we don't want to use up our potential with using stuff like, drugs, alcohol, watching Netflix, because this is just artificial satisfaction, it's not like a real genuine satisfaction you get like from things that actually are good for you, like, doing the work, for example. So yeah, we need to use up this whole dopamine, or like this whole serotonin, which is like the other happiness hormone, to really be fulfilled at the end of the day, to not feel anxious and nervous. But yeah, we need to transfer the bad habits into good habits. We need to do the dopamine transfer, and that's what I'm going to explain, guys. So what we need to do is slowly removing these bad habits and swapping them with more good habits, because what you need to understand is that these bad habits, like watching adult content, are 10 times more stimulating than the actual good things for you. So artificial things are engineered to be as stimulating as possible, when like real and genuine things like working or like eating clean, they can never be as stimulating as these things. So we need to put like more good habits to replace just one bad habit. And I'm going to present this to you like visually, so you understand what I mean by that. So let's say you want to get rid of like video games because they steal energy from you. You need to swap these 30 dopamine points with like 15 gym points, for example, if you didn't go to the gym before that, 5 points for like meditation or something, and 10 points for clean nutrition. If you didn't like clear up all of these dopamine points, chances are you will feel very understimulated at the end of the day and very anxious and nervous. So you definitely need to transfer everything in order to, you can't destroy energy. You can only transfer it to another place. You can't live with this gap inside of you. Of course, you can like kind of detox to a degree, but in the long run, making like this sacrifice detox will just end up not working because it's too much at once, and you need to kind of find alternatives to like the bad things in your life. Getting rid of Netflix can be something like, okay, doing work instead and watching educational content as the second thing. So you get like rid of these 25 dopamine points that you use up for something bad. So yeah, that's another like example for, swapping the dopamine and like fulfilling the whole dopamine transfer, guys, So you need to make sure that work is one of the highest stimulating, if not the highest stimulating thing in your whole day, Because if there's going to be something juicy like playing video games waiting for you later that day, you simply will not be able to concentrate on the work. And on the other hand, if you do the juicy thing before the work, like if you play video games for 5 hours before you get to work, you're going to be so burnt out and sucked dry of your energy that you won't have enough dopamine points to do the work, guys. You will simply be demotivated and burnt out. Your brain will be fried, and you simply can't focus any longer on anything that is really important for your life, And that's the whole concept of dopamine transfer. And another like short hack you can implement, of course, it can be hard sometimes to remove like the whole like watching Netflix, removing like basically everything that is like kind of the dopamine in your life, But what you could do is something like using up like the first 10 to 12 hours in a day, like let's say from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for like doing the work and focusing on the things that actually matter. No short form content, no TikTok, no bullshit, no social media, and straight up doing the things with like the most amount of brain points, and putting all of like the bad things, all of like the artificial stimulating things that will take energy away from your deep work session, put it at the end of the day so you don't lose the energy for like the whole business and doing work. So yeah, that's like another cheat code. And if you don't want to cut out everything in terms of dopamine, if you just want to put it in like the best space you can put it at, like at the end of the day, where you basically, of course, you don't go do it like exactly before sleeping. You do it like 3 hours before sleeping, then you like kind of calm down at the end, like with some meditation or like just hanging with your girlfriend or like with your friends or something, and then you go like into bed with like the understimulated mind, so you can like sleep relaxed and stuff. So don't do it like exactly before sleep. So yeah, that's like the whole concept of the dopamine transfer, guys. And in summary, basically just get rid of all the bad habits, implement good habits, do the work at the beginning of the day, put more good habits into like one bad habit, because the artificial ones are going to be way more stimulating. Make work the most exciting thing in your day, and it will be happy to you, because if you don't have anything besides work, you're going to be very bored. If you have no mobile phone in your room, no social media, TikTok, adult content, no alcohol, you're going to crave work, because otherwise you're just going to lie around without using your phone, without going onto Instagram. You will be grateful that you have work, because there's nothing else in your life that's going to stimulate you in any regard. So that's pretty much a cheat code, guys. Make work the most exciting thing of your day. Hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you want even more source on like dopamine, character traits, mindset, or like copywriting outreach in general, feel free to join my free school. Link is in the bio. I basically have a free 2-hour outreach masterclass in there, telling you exactly how to get your very first client in the next 4 to 8 weeks, if you are willing to put in the work and if you already have the service delivery side of things figured out. It's almost like a paid mentorship. You can ask me questions in there and I will answer them completely for free to you. And you can like put your outreaches in there. I will review them and tell you what's like bad and what it's good, so you can actually send it to the client. So only 144 people in there. There will be thousands of people in there, so you are still pretty early. Hope you've enjoyed this video. See you on the next one. Bye bye.